What is going on, world? Today I'm at the 4 Point Sheraton. It's an exciting day. I'm doing a 45-minute speech at the London Health and Spirituality Expo. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just a little bit nervous. I am actually one of the youngest health advocates or practitioners here, but I'm really excited. I'm gonna be doing this nice big speech. I'm gonna be talking about hormonal optimization and how you can use it to conquer your goals in life. So I'm gonna take you guys along the journey, and let's see what goes on here today at the London Health and Spirituality Expo. Here we go, world. I start in 10 minutes. Nervous? Alright, well, hello everyone. My name is Peter Klosko, and I actually go as the Hungarian Experiment on YouTube. I do a lot of different things on YouTube. I basically just document my life and how I've been experimenting with different life factors. So I actually worked at the Pizza Hut right over here, and I worked there for a long time. And when I first started intermittent fasting, all these young guys were like, man, how are you getting so big so fast? Like, how are you staying so lean? They thought I was doing, something else. And I told them, I'm not eating for 16 hours, but they seriously doubted that. They're like, I don't believe you. And it's weird because like a lot of them trusted me on other aspects of life, but they didn't trust what I was saying there because they couldn't physically see it. So I was like, how do I prove this to them? So I started documenting on YouTube. I started creating videos where I take you through and I show you how your body, how your mind can still function without food. So right now, I actually stopped eating last night around 9:30, and I'm still fasting. I can still articulate myself. I could do some handstand push-ups right now for you if I really felt like it. I can go to the gym right now and do a whole workout. And actually, about a month or two ago, I did a 60-hour fast. So I went a full 2.5 days without food, just to push my body and kind of see what is the effects of this? How serious is this? So one thing that we believe, and is a big thing now, is the 6 to 8 small meals. So we think we're supposed to get up and eat then eat again in a few hours, especially if we want to be functioning mentally to the top of our game, because we think we need that food as energy. But if we look back to our ancient ancestors, they went through periods of famine. They went, they were hunting and gathering, but they weren't doing that on a daily basis. They couldn't store food anymore. So after a big hunt, they would eat all that food. They would take advantage of it, take advantage of every part of the animal. So if you look back at our ancient ancestors, as I was mentioning, they went through these periods of famine. They weren't getting fueled. They weren't fueling their body every 2 to 4 hours. So our bodies, for generations, thousands and thousands of years, have adapted to this kind of lifestyle. And it's only in the last 100 years or so that we've been really manipulating things. With our modern day now, we can travel so much farther than we were ever able to. All these questions are things that I've been experimenting with on my body. So after intermittent fasting, and I did a whole bunch of research, I spent about a year documenting my full day-to-days, showing how, days like today, I can articulate myself, I can go to the gym and still function optimally, still be physically optimized through that. Then I started tweaking other aspects of my life. So what are other aspects that help to optimize your hormones? I believe it's these animalistic instincts. So we as human beings, we're dominated by our bodies. If you compare us to animals, like if you look at your dog, for instance, it has some instincts that it's instinctual, like they need to eat. If they don't eat, they start getting amped up. They start getting, some, if you don't neuter them, they're sexually, like that you need to conquer this. There's all these factors in our life that I believe we need to conquer. So we all have these animalistic instincts. One is food. We also have sleep. If you go several days without sleep, if you even shorten your window, you only get 4 hours of sleep, you're going to be affected by that. Your body is going to not function as optimally as if you get 8 hours of sleep. Same thing with your food. Now, along with this, and you probably see in animals, as I just discussed, is sex. And then we also have the social aspect. You hear about this, like when they put people in solitary confinement, they start to go crazy. They start to lose their minds. And this is a big aspect that I believe we as human beings need. We need that social aspect. And being social and being around with other people helps to optimize ourselves. And I believe, and that's what I want to connect my whole kind of talk to into spirituality. Because when you fully optimize yourself, you can go out in the world and you can give more to other people. And that's one thing that I think we all hear, is you have to give to yourself first. So I think a big important thing is figuring out how to conquer these animalistic instincts in your life. And the more we conquer these aspects in our life, the more hormonally optimized we are. So the more you conquer your sleep, you figure out what's the most optimal range for yourself and your unique lifestyle, because life is situational, you will figure out, and your body is gonna like you. Your body's gonna be producing more endorphins, more hormones, which is going to help you function more optimally and physically as well. A couple of years back, one aspect that I've really wanted to document and show on my YouTube channel is that through my life factors, that I naturally optimize myself. So I struggled with trying to get some hormone testing done on my body. I went to several doctors, I went to several naturopathic doctors, until I found one who was like, this is very interesting, and I want to see what comes from this. So I took myself through this perfect month. Over this perfect month, I really hashed out my intermittent fasting schedule. I only eat on those days where I'm trying to optimize myself for about 4 to 5 hours. And I found that works best for me and my lifestyle. And from the research that I've done, scientific studies that I display in my YouTube videos, that fasting for 20 to 24 hours in men has shown a 1,500 to a 2,000% increase in your growth hormone levels. So that, when I first started intermittent fasting, I was trying to get big and jacked. That was my main focus, is how do I increase my growth hormone, because that's going to affect my testosterone levels, which is going to help me put on muscle easier. So I took myself through this perfect month over April, and I also was eating as clean as I could possibly eat. On top of that, I was trying to get the best sleep I could. I had a girlfriend, and I was trying to be sexually optimal, not going too long and crazy with stuff, but also not doing it. And then along with that, the social and competition. So I tried to optimize these life factors for a whole month straight to see what are these test results going to show. So I did a urine analysis test, and I sent that off to Calgary. The results came back, and I had 3,500 PG/GCR. Not 100% sure what that is. It has to do with the creatinine that's in your urine. But the average for males is 200 to 2,200. So I had like 94% growth hormone output. Then I did another test a week later. I tried to keep my life factors as consistent as possible. And the next test I got 3,700 PG/GCR, and it was 94%. Then that weekend, my grandparents came down. It was May 2-4 weekend, so we had some stuff to drink. And I was like, for this third test, I want to tweak things. I want to see if I tweak certain factors of my life, is this going to negatively affect the tests? So I drank on that weekend, not heavily, lightly. When I got to that third test, I purposely got less sleep. I didn't go to the gym the 2 days before that, and I had a cheat day. Like, I ate candy, I ate chocolate. So I did the urine test after that, and when the test results came back, my growth hormone dropped to I believe it was 500 PG/GCR. So I went from 94% growth hormone all the way down to 34%, just in a week. And I believe that our hormone levels are dictated through these life factors.
What about teenagers? Is this something that's more, once you're fully grown, or because we've got a lot of information about Canada's food diet, and teenagers need all this food, and it's just, and becoming almost impossible to get your child or your teenager to be eating clean all the time and doing all these things. So is like fasting and these sort of intermittent fastings like only really for adults, would you say? Or is it something, because I mean the children also had to live back in the day like that too. Or is it something that you wouldn't really want to dabble in until you get into a bit older?
Well, these are all questions that I have, and I believe we don't have enough tests done on this. And a lot of the scientific studies that I've gone and debunked this is that they're not the best studies. They're only done on 10 to 12 people, and this is why you get studies saying coffee's amazing for you, and yet coffee's horrible for you. So again, this is all stuff that I believe through testing on my own body, but I've actually had a lot of teenagers reach out to me with this exact question. Is this healthy for me to do? Because I'm scared I'm going to lose muscle. I'm scared because my parents don't want me to do this. And I said, you know, reach out, like talk to your parents, show them this video, show them the scientific breakdown of things, and then start experimenting for yourself. And I've had communication with a bunch of these teenagers, and they feel mentally optimized. They feel physically optimized. So I believe that all this information is slowly trickling and getting out there into the world, but how do we prove this? It's very hard, and I believe what I'm trying to represent is like I'm a human experiment. So if we could take everyone here in this room and everyone's getting regular hormone testing weekly, then we can really start to prove stuff because we're all documenting our factors in the world, and then we can really start to see, okay, this factor, and plug it all into a computer program and figure out what's the differences between us, but what's also similar, and find out, is this the best? One big question that I have about hormonal optimization, and this is something that I'm slowly changing and tweaking with my life, is the idea of being vegan, being vegetarian, and eating meat. A lot of studies, and again, there's studies that are both proving right and wrong, is that meat is good for you and meat is bad for you. But when I go look at these studies, they're done on 15 people. Who are these people? What life situation are they coming from? And it's hard to tell. So I personally believe that what is going to help to optimize our hormones changes over the course of our life. So right now, I'm leaving where my body's finishing developing. Very soon, I just need to maintain my body. And by the time I get into my 30s, I'm 27 right now, I'm going to slowly start tweaking my life into more of a vegetarian diet. I'm going to try to reduce the amount of testosterone and growth hormone that I'm pumping out of my body, because some scientific studies, meta-analysis that have done studies on all these kind of studies, have shown that if you do have more testosterone and growth hormone in your body, that your life ends sooner. So I believe that we need to tweak what we do over the course of our life. And I think what is most optimal for a teenager is different than what's most optimal for me, different than what's most optimal for someone who's in their 50s or 60s. And again, that's different between genders. It's different between all this kind of stuff, because I know, and this is a big question that a lot of women ask me on my channel, is that is intermittent fasting safe for women? Because you go through periods of hormonal fluctuations monthly. And this is a big question, is this safe to do? Well, I think it's 100% safe, but you need to be tweaking it almost around these fluctuations that are occurring. And that you can only figure out if you're long-term documenting yourself and really trying to figure out what's affecting me during what period of the month, what period of the year, and how all this works. You might have to tweak your food, you might have to tweak your intermittent fasting schedule and everything. Whew, that was fun, guys. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone.